Welcome to BrainShift. This is where we break down the science of self-improvement so you can build better habits, sharpen your mindset, and actually become the person you keep saying you'll be. Let's get into it. Let me ask you something. Have you ever met someone who earns a great salary, maybe even six figures, but somehow they're always broke? Or maybe you've seen someone with a modest income who quietly built real wealth over time. That gap has nothing to do with intelligence. It has everything to do with how your brain is wired around money. Today, we're going to break down the money traps that keep smart people stuck and the mental shifts that can put you on the path to real financial freedom. This isn't investment advice. This is about rewiring how you think about money. Here's the first trap. Most people believe that earning more money will solve their problems. It won't. And research backs this up. Studies show that as income rises, spending rises almost identically. Psychologists call this lifestyle inflation. You get a raise, you upgrade your car. You get a bonus, you book a nicer vacation. Your bank account stays the same. Morgan Housel puts it perfectly in The Psychology of Money. He says wealth is what you don't see. It's the money not spent, the car not bought, the upgrade skipped. Wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about having options. And this is where smart people get trapped. They earn enough to look successful, but never enough to actually be free. Because every dollar that comes in has already been mentally spent before it arrives. Here's the second trap, and it might be the most dangerous one. Comparison. Social media has made it almost impossible not to compare yourself to other people's lifestyles. You see someone your age with a nicer apartment, a better car, designer clothes, and something your brain says, I need that too. But here's what nobody shows you. That person might be drowning in debt. A study by the Federal Reserve found that nearly 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency. Many of the people who look wealthy are actually one paycheck away from disaster. Robert Kiyosaki talks about this in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He separates people into two categories. Those who buy liabilities thinking they're assets, and those who buy real assets. A brand new car loses value the moment you drive it off the lot. That's a liability. But most people treat it like a reward they've earned. The shift here is simple but powerful. Stop comparing your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20. And start asking yourself, is this purchase making me richer or poorer in the long run? Now, before we get to the solutions, there's one more trap I have to address. You probably heard this advice before. Stop buying coffee every morning and you'll be rich. It's called the Latte factor, and it's one of the most popular pieces of financial advice on the internet. The idea is simple. If you spend $5 a day on coffee, that's $1,825 a year. Invest that over 30 years and you'd have hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sounds great on paper, but here's the problem. It puts all the blame on small pleasures and completely ignores the real issue. Your coffee isn't making you broke. Your car payment is. Your rent is. The subscription services you forgot about are. Ramit Sethi, author of I Will Teach You to Be Rich, calls this the myth of cutting back on lattes. He argues that focusing on small expenses gives people the illusion of progress, while the big financial leaks go completely unnoticed. Think about it this way. You could skip coffee for an entire year and save $1,800. Or you could negotiate your salary by just 5% and earn an extra $3,000 to $5,000. You could call your insurance company and lower your premium. You could refinance a loan. One phone call could save you more than a year of skipping coffee. The real lesson here isn't that small expenses don't matter. They do over time. But if you're only focused on cutting small costs while ignoring the big ones, you're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. The smartest money move isn't about deprivation. It's about optimization. Cut the big stuff ruthlessly, then enjoy your coffee guilt-free. So how do you actually break free? Here are 3 shifts backed by psychology and behavioral economics. Shift number 1. Pay yourself first. This is the oldest rule in personal finance, and it works because it removes willpower from the equation. Before you pay rent, before you buy groceries, before you do anything, move a fixed percentage of your income into savings or investments. Even if it's just 10%. The psychology behind this is powerful. When the money isn't sitting in your checking account, your brain doesn't register it as available to spend. You adapt to living on less without even trying. Behavioral economists call this the out-of-sight, out-of-mind effect. Shift number 2. Delay gratification. In the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, researchers gave children choice. Eat 1 marshmallow now, or wait 15 minutes and get 2. The kids who waited went on to have better life outcomes across the board. Better grades, lower stress, higher earnings. The same principle applies to money. Every time you resist an impulse purchase, you're training your brain to value future rewards over instant ones. Start small. Wait 48 hours before any non-essential purchase. You'll be shocked how many things you thought you needed just fade away. Shift number 3. Learn the difference between price and value. Smart people often fall into the trap of optimizing for price. They chase deals, buy things on sale, and feel clever about it. But saving 30% on something you didn't need isn't saving. It's spending. Real financial intelligence means asking, what is this worth to my future self? A $200 course that teaches you a marketable skill might be worth $10,000 over your career. A $200 pair of shoes will be worthless in 2 years. Same price, completely different value. Here's what all of this comes down to. Financial freedom isn't about how much you earn. It's about the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is your freedom. It's your ability to say no to a job you hate, to take a risk on a new idea, to sleep at night without anxiety. The psychology of money calls this the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. That's the real definition of being rich. Not a fancy car, not a big house. Freedom. Every money decision you make is either a vote for your future freedom or a vote against it. You don't need to earn more. You need to think differently. And now you have the tools to start. If this video shifted your perspective, hit that subscribe button. We break down the psychology behind success, habits, and money every single week. I'll see you in the next one.